Good morning. And on the Facebook. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You probably hear my little crazies in the background. All right. Let's make sure this is working. And it is. Good morning. Happy Thursday. 7:58 in the morning. Hope you guys are doing great today. Another beautiful day in Central New York. Every day is a beautiful day. A lot of craziness in the world. Tons of craziness, and it makes it really hard to listen to podcasts because podcasts used to be very informative. Now it's becoming very theoretical. People are they're because this stuff is, we're kind of in uncharted territory. Yeah. And again, because we've gone through similar areas of this in the past, but given that now we have such an influx from social media, and so many people want to chime in, some good, some bad, some indifferent. Everybody has an opinion. Unfortunately, everybody's opinion is not based on fact. So we are stuck in what I want to call a shitstorm. And I think that there's a lot of very relevant points, but I think that there's also a lot of misinformation, and that really drives that to me is what's driving an axe between both sides of this, where it's yes, Black Lives Matter, yes, there's some bad cops out there. Not all cops, police officers, law enforcement are bad. There are some bad apples. We do need to have some level of reform. We do need to have some progress made in that area, but we also have to have progress made in a lot of areas. And I think that that's the most important piece. Is we have to remember that every single person on earth is a human being. Period. That's it. Everybody is a human being. Everybody makes mistakes. You make mistakes all day long. I make mistakes all day long. I am in no way, shape, or form saying that to justify the actions of the bad police officers. I am saying that because when you share something, you may not be sharing something that's 100% factual. Because again, there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of, skewed information out there. So, a friend of mine shared something yesterday about two guys that were arrested. One was white, one was black at the same time. And, she brought up that, I think it was $250 bail for the white guy, and it was $500 for the black guy. And it was, the question was, well, why is his more? So my immediate answer was, did one have more priors than the other? And someone else had said, is one more of a flight risk than the other? And she's like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, well, then maybe you should do some more research before being so emotional. And that's the key. Is we are very emotional. We see something like that, we share it. I'm not saying it's, I don't know. I'm asking the question. Did he have more priors? Because if you're willing to put that out there, I expect you did your end of the research. And if you didn't, then it's time to do a little bit more research before you get so emotionally involved. So today is going to be, it's been driving me crazy this entire week, because a couple of different podcasts that I listen to have both said very similar things. United we stand, divided we fall. That was on one podcast. One guy was saying unity. They were talking about being, getting back to where we are united, getting back to where we, actually care about each other. And they made reference to 9/11, and they made reference to the attitude and atmosphere post 9/11 and how united we were in everything that we were doing. And now, happy birthday, Kyle. Sorry, I have to interrupt. It's my cousin Kyle's birthday. So happy birthday, Kyle. They were making reference to that and how united we were. And the country singers and musicians and all of these people came out with music that helped to unite us. And now those same musicians, those same singers, those same bands are creating this crack in our foundation. And I'm not saying, so they're creating this crack in our foundation. And what's happening is we're starting to divide. So Abe Lincoln said, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." So a house divided against itself cannot stand. That was spoken from a man back in the 1800s, not that long ago. We bring up slavery with this entire Black Lives Matter movement, the police injustice, racial sensitivities, as slavery was not that long ago. So if we are saying a house divided against itself cannot stand, what are we doing to the United States? What are we doing on both sides? We are dividing our country. So that to me is alarming and concerning, and the most important thing that we should look to work on. Do Black Lives matter? Fuck yeah, they do. They matter just as much as my life as anyone else's life. Criminal, non-criminal. Everybody is equal. Everybody deserves the opportunity to have an amazing life. Jesus, Beth, you have to stop texting me between 8 and 8:15. So that being said, if we are divided and we continue to become at arms with each other, which is really where it's headed. I just watched a video and it was a blurry video, so I couldn't tell, but of a guy hitting a girl with a 2x4. He looked like he was possibly white. She was coming at him, and it's like, really, is this the shit that we're going to have? So the second podcast that I was listening to, the guys were all ex-military, and they were saying, what is going on now? If we, they also brought up this, the point they were making was nobody can beat us with a military. Nobody has that opportunity. Nobody is that strong. Nobody is that good. We have a phenomenal military, and thank you to all of our current and past service members and future service members as well. Those of you who are going to join, I truly appreciate you. However, we can't be beat that way. So how else would you beat somebody? You destroy their economy, like the terrorists tried to do with 9/11. You would go from the inside and work your way out, create a division. Why? United we stand, divided we fall. And I bring this up because I want to spark the thought process for you of what? Maybe some of what we're seeing on social media is not real. Shocking, I know, because we just got done with an election 3.5 years ago where there was a ton of information that came out that the Russians, which, by the way, would love it if we crumbled, right? Wouldn't China love it if we crumbled? These are points that these guys made in this podcast, that if we fall apart, who stands to gain? If America itself continues to split and divide the way that we are right now, who stands to benefit from that? We won't. We'll be reliant. We're going to need China. We're going to need Chinese banks. We're going to need any outside assistance we can get. Better yet, what if you do, if everyone defunds the police departments? And again, I'm not saying we can't defund them. All I'm saying is look at it take a step back. It's time to take that macro level, take a step back and say, if the United States continues to literally kill itself from the inside out like a plague, like a virus, who stands to benefit from that? In knowing the history of the Russians specifically, that, there was, the collusion and stuff, and that there was, they created like fake advertising on Facebook and stuff. Is that something that could possibly be going on right now? Again, I don't know the answers, but I listened to a couple of different podcasts, and they spark that, and that sparks the idea in me. And then I turn around and I say, boy, that seems like it's way too convenient. So what am I asking of you? I'm asking you to acknowledge each other as human beings, because we can't move forward with any of this. Like I was talking with a client last night who works in law enforcement, who is just, beside herself about what was happening down in Atlanta. Police officers are asking for early retirement. They're quitting their job. They're getting out of the line of duty because of what's going on. And who's going to protect the grandma, the grandpa that own a small family store if these guys just continue to walk away from their job? We can make progress with racial equality, but we can also work together to make that happen. We can't make all of this happen by pointing fingers, by arguing back and forth. We have to work together. How can we work together to make that happen? What can we do to make this happen? What can we do to ensure that we grow as a community, as a culture, as a country? Because right now, all we're doing is we're just continuing to split apart. And it's going to get worse before it gets better unless we really start to, again, it's right now it feels more like a pissing contest than it does a collective, okay, how can we grow? How can we develop? How can we move forward? How can we heal? How can we strengthen our communities? How can we do all of this stuff? Right now it's all about, no, I'm going to break you down because, you've been breaking us down for 200 plus years. Is that going to help us grow as a community? And those are the questions that I have. And those are questions that I don't necessarily have an answer to, but what I'm asking you is to start looking at it objectively. Stop, from the emotional side, stop being so emotional and seeing something and letting that trigger you to be like, that's it, I've got to share it. Because again, it's been shown in the past that people play on your emotions when it comes to social media, when it comes to some of this stuff. So please take a deeper look, take a deeper dive, do a little bit more research before sharing some of that stuff, before, pursuing, before just like jumping on one side or the other. Because I think it's very important. If we're going to grow, if we're going to get through this, we have to remember these ideas Abe Lincoln had, these ideas that go all the way back to Greece. Greece is where united we stand, divided we fall comes from. And right now, we're on that cusp. And if we're going to fall, if you think our economy is shit now, I don't even know what it'll be like if we're a divided country, even more so. So we have to start looking at, okay, how can we collectively get through this? How can we collectively work together to improve what we have? And while we're doing that, work to make what we have and what we want to have even better. Because this all will stem back to, like right now, people are stressed out of their minds. People just don't know. People are stressed. People are getting to the point where they're starting to just shut down. Okay, so that's not beneficial for anyone, to just get to the point where you're like, fuck it, and you throw your hands up and run away or walk away. That's not going to solve anything. So again, we have to be intelligent with what we're doing. We have to be willing and open to work together to make forward progress. So I'm asking all of you, what can you do to help make this forward progress? How can you help move us forward? And I want you to act on that. All right, so today's Thursday. I hope you guys have a great day. Remember, a house divided against itself cannot stand. And right now, we're quite divided. So let's work together to reunite, to bring back our amazing country to become what it has the potential to become. Hope you guys have a great day. It's Thursday. Got one more day if you're in the work week and your work week ends tomorrow. You have one more day. And don't forget, it's Father's Day. So for all those fatherly figures out there, happy early Father's Day if you're tuning in today. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful day.